moving on to the next session, which is the experience for development AgTech startup by Kun Satish KS, the founder and CEO of FLYBIRD from the Innovations PVI Limited, Kun Pakk Yourng, MD of AgriBuddy from Hong Kong, and Mr. Abdulaziz Amullah, the founder and CEO of Mother Farm from UAE. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the three speakers on the stage. ขอเสียงปรบมือต้อนรับทั้ง3ท่านด้วยนะคะเรียนเชิญเลยนะคะสวัสดีค่ะ Hello So, first of all, would you like to introduce about your name, yourself, and your company to the audience?
Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. So, this is Satish from FLYBIRD Farm Innovation from India. So, I'm the founder and CEO of the company.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Abdulaziz Al-Mullah. I'm the CEO of Madar Farms, a startup based out of Dubai. We're a food security agricultural technology startup.
Okay.
Thank you. My name is Pakk Yourng, Managing Director of AgriBuddy Cambodia and the COO of AgriBuddy Hong Kong Group Company.
So I would like to ask about how did you start your AgTech startup in your startup?
Okay. Am I audible? Yeah. So basically, I was an engineer, aerospace engineer, and working for 12 to 13 years in the industry, IT industry, and parallelly I was doing a farming in my native. So that's when I noticed that there are challenges on the water management and also labor, managing the labor on the farm field was a difficult things, and also crop yield was not up to the mark.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I thought, why don't we develop a technology for agriculture so that which is affordable and also people start applying the technology for the agriculture sector. So then I left my job in 2013. Then I started the FLYBIRD Farm Innovation in 2013. So close to 5 years now. So to address the water management issues, labor issues, and to improve the yield part of it, so we have developed a systems called smart irrigation and fertigation systems. So what it does is basically it's an automated system to do irrigation and inject the fertilizer based on the crop needs and also based on the soil conditions.
So what about you, Mr. Abdulaziz?
So I always tell people I'm not a farmer, I'm an eater, you know. And I used to be a consultant before with McKinsey. And the last project I worked on was a risk strategy project where we looked at water risk, food risk, healthcare, IT, and what would happen if a volcano, or what would happen if X or Y. And I was shocked to see the numbers on the Middle East. You know, less than 1% of land in the Middle East is cropland. We're a desert, you know. But over 80% of water used is used in farming. And we've run out of 60% of our water sources in the last 20 years. So that's why we started Madar Farms. We currently have 2 solutions: a small recycled shipping container with a complete farm built inside. Everything is automated and run by a computer. And in the long run, what we're building is a large-scale plant factory that allows us to get to an output where we can start producing for our country.
And how about you, Mr. Pakk Yourng?
Yes, our business is a little bit scalability. And the issue we set up the business is that the main factor that we have set up is that the challenging of the farmer of producing the crop. In every country, right, most farmers, they facing the fund, accessing to the fund to supply for their cultivation. And when they already got a fund somehow, maybe from their parent, from their relative, from the bank, microfinance, informal lender, in their community, the next challenging is the technical assistance. They don't know how to put a fertilizer, apply using a lot of right now, you see on the globe, on the country, they apply a chemical fertilizer, pesticide inside that, right?
Yes.
So another issue is that when the crop already produce the yield, they're challenging with another market, whether they sell to this one. As you look backward, also the buyer also looking in different way. How can we access to the crop to buy it? And where is the farmer? How do we ensure the crop yield, crop quality is good? No poison, no chemical applied, or at least less. So everyone look into that one. From bank perspective, they want to invest with the farmer, but they don't know who is a farmer, how much land, how much land side they have, what crop they do, and what is the risk, what is the calculation of the something like that. So the AgriBuddy set up, established it. We are the information system, also the operation side, but we develop and we have a system that tracing from the funder, cultivation, crop production, applying the agri input, and we connecting the buyer to buy the crop from the farmer through our system. That's how our business is about.
So, and what's about how has AgTech startup developed in your country?
Yep. For the AgTech, let me talk about AgriBuddy a little bit. Our group company is in Hong Kong, but we have a development center in Bangalore. And also we have one operation in India, and also we have the operation in Cambodia. So how we develop is that we face the challenging first. We identify the issue, because we were the farmer, we are the farmer. So we know what is the issue is in different countries, we're very common. So we start by developing the system for how can we help the farmer to access to the fund for first stage. And then starting scaling little bit. So actually when you start a business, you don't need to have a big team. You don't need to have a big money. It is something like you can kill the pain point only, right? For example, how can you trace the crop from the planting date until the harvest date? So this is how you build the trust within your stakeholder. So let's pick only one point. How can you solve that issue only? Don't try to diversify too many issues. Of course, there are many issues, but pick only one point and try to solve it. There are a lot of points: moisture issue, insect issue, flood issue, drought. There's a lot of issues, but pick only one point you can do. And try your ability, your sport, your asset, your expertise to solve that issue. Then how you can scale it up.
Okay. And what's about you, Mr. Abdulaziz?
When we talk about, we're based in Dubai in the UAE, but when we talk about Dubai, we can talk a little bit about the Gulf, including Saudi, Kuwait. And, you look at industries in different levels of evolution, Level 1 is when there's only a few companies just starting out. Level 2, you start to see some large players and a lot of new entrants, and, until you become a mature market. I like to say we're still at level 0, The reason for that is not because of a lack of support or that the technology is not available, but rather the education and awareness.
Yes.
Like my colleague has said, education is the key factor. A lot of people want to do it, but don't know how. A lot of people know that there's a problem with the food system, but not exactly what is that problem.
Exactly.
They know that the quality of the food, there's something wrong with what we're eating, but not exactly why or how do they change. And so I think where we are right now as an industry as a whole is we're still in the education. While we may be producing, while there may be a few companies starting to enter, there's still a big challenge where we need to educate the population, the regulatory, the government, and such, before we can really start to even consider becoming a proper industry, if you will.
Okay, Mr. Satish,
Yeah,
how
I
it
think-
developed in your country?
Yeah. So as they rightly pointed out, especially to adopt the technology, awareness building is very low, even in most of the countries, especially for agriculture technologies. So building that awareness into the farmers, how the technology can be used and how better they can manage the available resources, water, it could be natural resource, or to improve the yield, or to cut down the, like in most of the countries, again, I would say like there is a challenge on the labor part of it, even in India or be it Thailand also, there is a shortage of labor, agriculture labor, which are to manage the agricultural activities. So all this awareness building is becoming a big task for us. So as a community also, or as a startup, tech startups in India. So we are also doing the same thing, building an awareness in India.
That was the next question that I would like to ask. What was about your marketing? Do you have any plan to do business in Thailand?
Yeah, I'm really exploring in Thailand market also. I think I see that there are similar crops we are growing in Thailand also, and definitely I see that water. When I was reading the article, there is a like shortage of water and also shortage of labor and also inefficiency of using the fertilizers and pesticides. There are 3 challenges which are already listed for Thailand. So our product rightly fits there, and definitely would like to explore going further.
Yeah. Okay, that's for you.
So actually, we already do business with Thailand. As you know, Thailand's very fertile. The agriculture is very strong and is resilient. So the seeds and the crops that come from Thailand are actually quite strong. Our basil is actually a lemon Thai basil. It's one of our most popular products we import from Thailand. So we look forward to continuing to expand our range of crop selection through some of the local flavors to bring to the Middle East.
It's for you.
Right. We also, right now we're looking to another three country.
Yes.
It is number 1 is Myanmar and Philippines, and also the third one is in Thailand. We're looking for collaboration for expansion.
Why Thailand number 3? Okay, let's go on.
Yes, the thing that we are working with Thailand right now is that we are import some seed, rice seed with the quality of seed, and also cassava, and also the maize that we are introducing the technology from this one, also some agri-input like fertilizer. So we are working closely with the Thailand. Yeah.
So the last question I would like to ask about what are your suggestions for who are studying and the AgTech startup in Thailand?
Well, the question is a little bit broad, but let me bring it to a specific point.
Yes.
That I suggest that for the AgTech, they know the issue of already, right? I don't need to reinstate it to discuss about what they can do for the farmer. But the thing is how they start a business. This is very important that for the audience today is that what I can suggest right now from my experience, also from my team, is that don't try something very big. Just start with small and kill the pain point which you can see very serious, and then you can pilot a prototype first, and then you can start a little bit pilot, talking to, please get the customer first. This is very important. Right? Don't try to look for funder. Try to gain the customer for prototype first. Hey, can you try this one? Does it work? For example, like maybe insecticide, for example, or something kill the mice on the ground, something like that. So let's try this one. It doesn't work, and when your product or service is good, and then the word of mouth will spread your marketing, and then the funder will come later on. So try to do something that you can do for your community first. You don't try something to do for your world. That's very big, right? Try something that you do for your family, for your community first, and then expertise and do it again. And don't be discouraged with the failure. You know, we face a lot of failure in the world. A lot of people try very discouraged, and a lot of success people have been a lot of failure. Don't try to be discouraged with this one. Just try to do something small, and then just try to fix it, and then something will come later on. Yeah, that's my recommendation.
Okay, and what about you?
I can't emphasize that enough. Actually, I'll speak from my own experience because we're still a very young company. When we first started off, the technology, it's so revolutionary. You're excited. It's game-changing. And that alone sometimes makes you narrow your vision a little bit. You don't start to see the whole picture. So when we first started to grow, we were growing purely lettuce because we thought that was the most economically feasible. It was what we should do. 6 months into it, we weren't selling. Our lettuce was the safest, it was the healthiest, and everyone said, from the chef to the student to the person who would try, the tastiest they've ever had. But why could we not sell? We found out that the lettuce portion of the market was the most competitive. There were thousands of people there. But in basil, in microherbs, in kale, They were a much smaller portion of people. And so very fast we were able to shift, but only because we had a good relationship with our customers who stopped us and said, hey, what you're doing is wrong. You should consider doing this. And I think the most important thing is not about AgTech specifically, but the burden of doing something falls only upon you. If it's not important enough for you to push for, it's not important enough for people to listen to. The depth and the amount of energy you put into something is the amount of energy that another person is not going to exceed.
So what's about Mr. Satish? Would you like to say something to start up in Thailand about the AgTech?
Yeah. So I think I'll just add a couple of other points to them. So my suggestion would be to focus anything on whatever you want to develop your idea. Focus more from a customer-centric angle. Like even if it's a simple problem, if it is solving, so try see from the customer angle whether it is useful for them. Are you solving the problem for them? And is it affordable? Is it scalable? Some of the question which is what we'll have to think. So that's one of the major thing. And also, like I would say that ideas are plenty. So execution is the main, I would say I will give a more weightage rather than the idea part of it. Like execution is very key. So execute well so that we can succeed in the long run.
Okay. So anyone has some question? มีท่านไหนมีคำถามสงสัยไหมคะสามารถสอบถามเพิ่มเติมได้เลยนะคะวันนี้เราได้รับเกียรติจากสปีกเกอร์นะคะไม่ว่าจะเป็นจากทาง UAE นะคะจากอินเดียด้านนี้ฮ่องกงนะคะคือเป็นตัวแทนสตาร์ทอัพจากทั่วทุกมุมโลกประเทศวันนี้จริงๆที่มาร่วมงานกับเราแล้วก็ให้เกียรติมาพูดคุยค่ะมีอีกไหมท่านไหนมีคำถามสงสัยยกมือได้เลยนะคะ Anyway I think that's okay That's understand. So thank you very much about your topic and sharing your experiences for today. We learned a lot and enjoy of it. Okay. Thank you very much คุณ Satish KS Mr. Pakk Yourng and Mr. Abdulaziz Amullah ขอเสียงปรบมือด้วยค่ะโอ้โหวันนี้นะคะมาแชร์ประสบการณ์นะคะให้เราได้พูดคุยนะคะแล้วก็ได้เข้าใจลึกซึ้งมากขึ้นว่าโอ้โหบรรยากาศสตาร์ทอัพของที่ประเทศอื่นๆเขาเป็นยังไงกันบ้างนะคะแล้วควรจะเริ่มต้นควรพัฒนาควรจะต่อยอดอย่างไรดีนะคะ